The Arizona Cardinals take over Monday Night Football, and three new stories from the Positivity Playbook. Stay tuned.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh.
Murray heaves it downfield. It's caught. It is caught. DeAndre Hopkins. Miraculous. It's Murray magic.
The sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Welcome to the sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Singh. We are going into Monday Night Football. Did you ever think you were going to see that? I didn't. I wasn't sure when we'd ever get primetime football again, but here we are facing off against the Los Angeles Chargers. The Week 6 loss to the Packers was no fun. No fun by any means, especially because I wasn't home watching the game. I happened to be in Las Vegas, where they have the most amazing public tailgate setup ever. There are food trucks. There are interactive games. You can win prizes. They throw out t-shirts to the crowd. The cheerleaders come out. It's pretty amazing. I mean, the Cardinals tailgate experience is also pretty amazing. I would say it's on par. However, I did find more activities at the Raiders tailgate. They had kick a field goal booth and win some sunglasses. They had a stage where they were playing all of the games right there. And I know we can go see that up on, I think it's called the flight deck, where they're playing all the games. But this was all in one coordinated area. And I found it to be really fun and exciting. They got up on the stage, they threw t-shirts to the crowd. It was fun, not gonna lie. It was fun, but it was not fun watching my Arizona Cardinals get defeated by the Packers at Lambeau Stadium. I kind of felt like we may not come out with a win. I did not expect it to be such a large blowout, for lack of a better word. At one point, we were definitely within a single possession, or we could have been within a single possession. And that's when things got really interesting. But it never happened. It never materialized. And then it all just went downhill from there. Crushing defeat. But here we are going into Monday. I have high hopes, especially being at home. This week, I'm actually going to see the game with my co-host Charlotte, which is going to be really fun. We both have season tickets, but we're going to go sit together this week. So stay tuned for some shenanigans about that for sure. Want to support the show and look good doing it? Consider buying your next fan gear from Homage. I'll have a link for you in the description, whether you're listening or watching. You can click through and our little show will get credit for your purchase. They have the best fan gear available, plus some really fun pop culture items I know that you will love. I happened to get a baseball shirt just a few weeks ago that said, "Here for the hot dogs," because that's pretty much how much I care about baseball. I'm just there for the hot dogs. So find a shirt that speaks to you at Homage. Follow the link in the description. Thanks so much. It's time for the Positivity Playbook. Let me bring in my co-host, Charlotte Shaff, into the show. Charlotte, welcome to the show. It's time for the Positivity Playbook, and I know you have three great stories for us this week. But first, how's your week been?
It's going. I feel like it's pretty slow. I don't know. How about you?
I feel like it's been moving pretty slowly as well. But now that Thursday's here, I'm like, holy cow, this week's going fast. Got to get this edited, out the door, ready for the people to listen to on Friday. Now it's flying.
Let's do it.
Let's start with the headline of "It Could Be Worse."
Yes. I'm sure plenty of us out there were all feeling pretty low on Sunday because how do you go from a high of San Francisco, winning in San Francisco, and then going to Green Bay and just like, ugh. So I wanted to share a few reminders so you don't think that we are doing that terribly. This is from Arizona Central, AZ Central. And basically, I want you guys to remember that in the NFC West, the 49ers are 3-3 and the worst division leader in the NFL right now. So think about that. Then I want you to remember the Rams are 1-4 and we did beat them. So that's a positive. And we should always remember that the Cowboys did terrible on Sunday. And as a Lions fan, I really loved it. But I know a lot of Cardinals fans are not Cowboy fans. So let's all be very happy that we are not Cowboy fans right now.
The
So
Cowboy fans are hurting right now.
they are hurting. So I just want to remind you of some of those positive elements and that it could be worse.
It definitely could be worse. I mean, we could be 1-4 and we're not. So there's that.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. Let's talk about something really fun. So even though the Green Bay game was not the most fun game to watch, there was a fun element of that game. We had
Oh,
some brothers on the field.
oh my gosh. If you watched the game or you watched anything on social media, you probably saw the parents of Max and Bo Melton at the game. And because their boys both play in the NFL and are playing against each other, they had these really cute jerseys where it was half Cardinals and half Green Bay. And so they were super proud to see their boys playing together. I thought that was a really wonderful moment for these parents.
It really was. In the article, they talk about how the parents, the families are more excited to see them match up against each other than they are, just because they're such a football family.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. It seems as though if you are both coming from school playing sports there, both parents played at Rutgers. The father played football, the mother played basketball, that of course your sons are going to grow up to be very good athletes.
Of course, of course. Why wouldn't they? And Bo and Max got to play together for 2 years at Rutger. We've ended up with the wonderful Max. Bo's ended up in
Green
Green
Bay.
Bay, which is really interesting because the last name Melton, I remember last year watching him play, and he was getting a lot of targets towards the end of the season because the Packers were getting pretty banged up. But they had some very creative cheese logos that involved Melton. So that was kind of,
Oh, I haven't seen those. I got to
yeah.
see those.
Yeah, last year for sure they were all about it. So Melton Brothers, that's really fun. There are several sets of brothers throughout the NFL, but seeing them match up this last week was kind of fun,
Yeah, it was. It was really nice.
even though we lost.
Even the, oh, that was not a fun win. Oh, or loss, I mean. Sorry.
It was not a fun win either.
No, correct.
It's Latino Heritage Month, and you stumbled across something really fun on Instagram. There was a special recognition piece.
Yes. So it actually caught my attention for a number of reasons. Um, Basically, I know one of the women who was awarded one of the recognitions. Her name is Petra, and she's a part of an organization called Latina Strong Foundation. And she is a friend of our family's good friends, and she's just an amazing force in the Latina community. So if you haven't heard of Latina Strong, check it out and follow them. But basically, the two Cardinals players that were in the Instagram reel that I saw were Roy Lopez and Will Hernandez, and they gave personalized Cardinals jerseys to Petra and another woman, Laura, for their work in the Hispanic community here in town. So if you look at the Cardinals website, you're going to see a couple other people who have been highlighted by the Arizona Cardinals. They're just great, influential, wonderful people doing good here in the community. And I always love to see the Cardinals making sure that they're reaching out to all communities and showing their appreciation for them.
They have been doing a lot of amazing things for Latino Heritage Month. So I love that you shared this story with us. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So this morning, we record on Thursdays, and this morning I opened up my Twitter and the community was all abuzz because the GOAT, Larry Fitzgerald, was sitting in the back of an end zone in a folding chair. Did you happen to catch that?
This is great. I mean, what a perfect seat for a football game. And of course, let's give it to the GOAT. And he was just sitting in his folding chair, applauding for when the Toros made a touchdown. It was really fun. I retweeted it on X.
Just like any dad, he's just out there in his folding chair, chilling out. You love to see stuff like that. Players in the
Oh,
community. I just wanted to see if you saw it because, yeah, I opened up my X or my Twitter or whatever, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute.
it is. It is. I would love to know a little bit more about why he was there and what was happening.
Well, Charlotte, thank you so much for joining me for the Positivity Playbook. It's always a joy, and we're going to get to go to the game together on Monday night. I'm very excited about that.
I'm very excited about that.
If anybody happens to be hanging out, tailgating, we picked up VIP tailgate passes. So come hang with us in the little special area and we'll play some cornhole or something.
Yes, I would love to see some people.
All right. Until next time.
Bye.
If you're watching the show, you'll notice that I've had a bit of a costume change and maybe even a bit of a voice change because it is early in the morning and I'm here trying to wrap up this episode for you. I want to dive in to Monday night's matchup against the Chargers. The Cardinals are 29th in the league for rush defense. Boo. Not great, I know. However, when we played the Rams in week 2, we only allowed 53 yards to the Rams. But since then, every game, we've allowed 100 or 30 or more rushing yards. So this is a big problem because the Chargers are one of the most rushing teams in the NFL. The Chargers rank 8th in rushing yards. So this is going to be quite a contest, quite a battle of wills. Here's the other thing. The Chargers allow the fewest points in the NFL. According to Cards Wire in USA Today, the Chargers have only allowed 13.2 points per game. Nobody has scored over 20 points against them. And weirdly enough, only the Steelers reached 20. So here's the thing. If the Steelers can do it, I think we can do it because the Cardinals happen to rank 17th in the league in scoring, averaging 22.2 points per game. Here's the caveat. Over the last 4 games, though, they have only averaged 16 points. So if the Cardinals have a chance of winning here on Monday night against the Chargers, what's going to have to happen is this. They're going to have to put on their special extra strong defense pants, keep the Chargers from rushing, and we're going to have to put on our big scoring pants and make sure we get up to that 22.2 average. Do you think it can happen? I think it can happen. Let's take a look at some of the recurring stats that might help us get this win on Monday night. Let's start with Kyler Murray. So Kyler completed 22 of 32 attempts for 214 yards and a touchdown, which went to Michael Wilson last week against Green Bay. He had 0 interceptions, which was great because he's not typically intercepted. The last time that Kyler met up against the Chargers, he had 247 yards, 191 of them passing, 56 rushing, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them passing, 1 of them rushing in the last meeting. So here's my takeaway. We need to be passing this ball. Pass, pass, pass. Let's go. Also, Kyler, put those legs on. You can do it. I know you can. Let's talk about James Conner. Now, we know the Chargers are great at stopping the rush. James Conner has had 100 or more scrimmage yards in 2 of his last 3 games. He's had a rushing touchdown in 4 of his last 5 games at home, plus 100 or more rushing yards in 3 of his 4 last games at home. This is great for this season because most of our games have been played at home already. Well, half. That didn't make any sense, but you know what I meant. We've played a lot of games at home, and here we are, Monday Night Football, our 4th home game in 7 weeks. Good news, Marvin Harrison Jr. has been downgraded. He wore the special practice cap on his helmet to help protect his noggin. It looks good for him to be playing against the Chargers this week, which is fantastic because Michael Wilson, questionable with an ankle injury, keeping an eye on that for sure. Now, Trey McBride, we all know this. Trey McBride led the team. It happened to be a season high of 8 catches for him and 96 yards last week. But here's the thing. He's had 5 or more catches in 4 games this season, which is tied with Brock Bowers. Why is nobody talking about this? Brock Bowers is phenomenal to watch. Here we have our very own Trey McBride tied with Brock Bowers amongst tight ends. And he has had 50 or more receiving yards in 3 of his past 4 games. He is now tied for 2nd among all tight ends with 28 catches this season. Star player, Trey McBride. I want to talk defense a little bit. Linebacker Mac Wilson. I've got a little bit of a crush. He's on my fantasy league. I do play some IDP fantasy football, independent defensive player, and Mac Wilson is on my roster. He has been killing it among the likes of Max Crosby and Bosa. I mean, he is right up there in points with them. So this would be his 5th game in a row with 6 or more tackles. What else can I say? Again, let's go. When we look against the Chargers, Justin Herbert, this was his season high, 21 of 34 attempts last week. And also a season high of yards, 237 yards and a touchdown with 0 interceptions. So Kyler had a better passer rating last week, actually, than Justin Herbert, 97.7 versus Justin Herbert's 92.4. This just goes to show that the Chargers are running the ball a lot more. Hopefully, we can stop that run, just like we discussed. What's their biggest weapon? J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins rushed for 96 yards and a touchdown last week. He had 100 plus scrimmage yards with the rushing touchdown in 3 of 5 games this season. So we need to put the stop on J.K. Dobbins in order to win this game. No matter how you feel about this game, I think it's important to stay positive. Stay positive. We have had highs, we have had lows, but remember how it felt to beat San Francisco. We can beat the Chargers. The Chargers are not the 49ers. The Chargers are not the Rams. The Chargers only have 1 more win than we do this season. The Chargers are 3-2 and we are 2-4. And one of those wins happened to be against a Super Bowl caliber team. So we can do big things. Stay positive. And if you happen to be out at the game tailgating on Monday night, come and find Shar and I, and we'll be out there playing some cornhole, some other yard games. You know, I'm there for the dogs. With that being said, I've got one more word from our sponsor. TD Tutty in for 6. Touchdowns matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the Sportsbook app and use code SICKSPORTS. That's code SICKSPORTS for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. And thanks for supporting the show. And that's about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. My favorite part always is Char's Positivity Playbook, but let us know what you want to hear, what you want to see, if you have any ideas for show topics. Until then, we'll see you on Victory Monday, right? Fingers crossed. Bye.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.